Hi, welcome to or back to the show if you're new here. I'm your host, Shelby, and today we have a very exciting episode. Today we have a very exciting guest, our first ever guest actually. He is a minor league pitcher for the Cardinals organization, and he's also my boyfriend. So he's very excited to come on today. Max has been on Team USA twice. He also got a variety of awards this past year in his first full season of being in the minor leagues. He was drafted 2 years ago in the 6th round. So that's a little bit about Max, but we have a full hour to talk with him about everything related to baseball, his entire journey from how he became a baseball player to his experience playing on Team USA, what it was like being committed at UCLA, and then getting drafted only 2 years later. I'm really excited for this conversation. As always, if you like the episode, if you think anyone may like it, share it, rate the show, follow the show. The Instagram is My Perspective Pod. Please repost it if you like this episode. The Instagram is My Perspective Pod. That's where you can find updates. I'll post Q&As for future guests. Just keep updated with the podcast and know when new episodes come out and have any ideas for me. So I hope you guys like this episode. Let me know if you like the new format of interviewing. I'm really excited for you guys to hear this conversation. And it also took me 10 hours to edit, so please give it some love. For anyone who doesn't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Shelby Wright boyfriend. My name's Max Rajcic. I went to UCLA for 2 years, and now I'm playing baseball with the St. Louis Cardinals. And yeah, I got a sick girlfriend. But other than that, that's me basically.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your childhood and why you became a baseball player?
Well, I think I always knew I was going to be a baseball player growing up. When I was, I think, 2 or 3, I fell in love with it. My parents had like a plastic tee and a plastic bat, and all I would do in the backyard was hit the baseball. And yeah, I mean, I knew baseball was my sport. I fell in love with it.
Kind of share with me the story of you and baseball. Like, did you have any other interest in other sports? Did you ever not like the sport? What made you different to become a minor league baseball player than the average kid?
I think just loving baseball, a lot of people can see it as being boring because it's super long, and they're doing a lot of things to change it to make it faster. But I feel like I love being at the field. That was like my fun time, and like I was super excited to go. I mean, I played Little League ever since I was a little kid, played T-ball and down the street in this Little League, and made a lot of friends. I enjoyed making a lot of friends, and I still have all my best friends from that Little League. So it's kind of cool to, grow up, and we grew up in the same neighborhood, so we'd play wiffle ball. We made a wiffle ball field at my friend's house, and it was sick. We made a bunch of cool rules, and during the summer, I remember we just played wiffle ball all day until like dark time, and we'd go back and eat dinner, and then it was a good childhood for sure. I play other sports like basketball, soccer. We played football a lot, kickball, handball. We played a lot of sports growing up. So all my friends live in the same neighborhood, so we'd bike and scooter. We'd never had to drive, so that was cool. Like we'd text each other, I'm coming over, and then 2 minutes later, I'm at my friend Nate's house or Jason's or Cole's or Mark's. So yeah, it was cool growing up. This neighborhood I grew up in was awesome.
Were you better than any of the kids like that were your age, or were you kind of on the same level as them even at a young age, and then you one day just started getting a lot better than everyone?
I'm trying to be cocky and all, but I would say I was probably better. I mean, I was always on the all-star team. I was always really good at baseball. So, I mean, I grew up with a batting cage in my backyard. We have a side yard, and my dad one Christmas made me a batting cage, and I don't know how he surprised me with it, but I was building it with him one day, and he told it was a garden for my mom. So I was like, all right, I'll help. We dug and built stuff, put poles in, and then on Christmas morning, he's like, there's something outside for you in the side yard, and it was a batting cage, so I spent a lot of time in there, and my friends would also come and hit there with me all the time. We had a pitching machine that could throw really fast, and we'd hit tee, like off the tee and all that, so it was cool. So yeah, I mean, I always grew up playing baseball, and I was always pretty good. I'm a humble guy, so I wouldn't say I was the best, but I mean, playing baseball, you gotta think you're the best for sure.
At what point did you know that you were going to become a professional baseball player?
Probably like 3.
3 years old.
3 years, yeah. I mean, my mom, I don't remember saying this, but my mom always told me a story. My kindergarten teacher says, what do you want to do when you grow up? I said, I already do it. And she goes, what are you talking about? I said, I'm a baseball player. So yeah, I mean, I always knew I was going to make it to the minor leagues or get drafted to a team, but I'm not there yet. I'm not in the big leagues yet, so still got a couple more levels to go up. I'm getting close, and I'm excited for the future, and yeah, I always have the confidence to make it.
Was there ever a point where you didn't think you're going to make it?
Nope, never. You gotta have confidence in everything you do.
That's just not the reality for a lot of people. So I think you have a very unique story in that sense.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I always believed in myself, and my dad was also a great coach. He'd come back from work at like 5 o'clock, and he would throw batting practice in the cage. He probably hated it because, he works hard and wants to chill out and watch football or just watch TV or whatever, but he would do it. And then, I mean, it was awesome. My dad threw great BP, and now his arm is killing him. He can't even lift his right shoulder now, so I kind of have to give him a big present once I make it for all the time and hours he put in me, for sure.
Do you think you'd still be the same baseball player you are now if your parents didn't put so much time and effort and money into you becoming a baseball player?
I have no clue. I think so too. I mean, I put in the time. I mean, they could put in all the money they want. They could put all the money, time from them, but I mean, it only matters if it's up to me. I mean, I could have just been one of the kids who've been like okay with it and just be like whatever, but I took time out of my life. I sacrificed hours and sacrificed going on trips with my friends and to go play baseball and get better. So I mean, there's pros and cons, but obviously everyone growing up when they're 3 years old, 5 years old, they want to be a big leaguer when they're playing baseball. So I'm glad I got to sacrifice those times, and it's awesome.
If I could remember, you told me that you came into high school, you were on the varsity team freshman year, and you already committed to UCLA without even having pitched a single game. Can you tell us a little bit about that story and what that felt like for you?
Yeah, growing up, I was a UCLA fan. I don't know why I liked UCLA. Like, I never watched UCLA baseball. I mean, I'd play this football game. I'm not a big video game player either, but I'd play NCAA football, and I'd always pick UCLA. I think I like the blue and gold colors, and I just fell in love with UCLA, and that was my dream school to go to playing baseball. And as the older I got, I understood like UCLA was a good baseball team. They have great players like Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, Brandon Crawford, Jackie Robinson, the guy who broke the color barrier. So UCLA history, I mean, they have the best sports. Gymnastics, right? You're a big gymnastics fan. You used to go watch down at Poly Pavilion, right?
Yeah.
That was my dream school, and I think freshman year in November, they offered me, or they told me to come visit, so I went to the UCLA USC football game, and that was crazy. Big rivalry over there. It was awesome, and then they had a unofficial visit. I toured the school, met the coaches, sat down with Coach Savage, and he gave me an offer. I was like, I just wanted to wait, kind of, and have other schools offer me, because UCLA was my first school that offered me in December. So I waited a couple weeks, and then he called, and then I was like, yeah, I'll wait. And then the next day I called him like, yeah, I want to commit to go to UCLA. That's the rest of the history, but it was crazy. I mean, going to school, I was like, I'm committed, so why do I need to go to school and try hard? So it was kind of nice, cool. And it put me on the map for baseball. I mean, I wasn't the biggest freshman coming out of high school, so being able to a UCLA commit as a freshman without playing one game in high school was pretty awesome.
How was that dynamic with your teammates then? A freshman coming in as a varsity, and all of those guys probably wanted to go to college for baseball.
I think they respected it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, kids nowadays are committed in 7th, 8th grade, which I think is too young. They saw me play and they understood this guy's legit and he's a ball player. So I mean, my whole team was committed. We had UCLA commit, TCU, Arizona. We had a really good team. I think we're the number one team in the nation to start. It wasn't a really big deal.
Was it weird not having your grade on the team? Was there any other freshmen on the varsity team?
Christian and Elijah. It's rare at Orange Lutheran. It's a really good baseball school and really good baseball league, the Trinity League, and it's rare to have a freshman play varsity. So it was cool to have those two guys there, and it made it easier coming from 8th grade to going to high school, and then you're hanging out with 18-year-olds. It's kind of crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
I think I was 15 at the time. Yeah, I was 15. It was kind of weird. I mean, I saw stuff that I'd never seen before, my innocent freshman max. But yeah, it was a good time. Met some good guys. I still talk to some of my teammates on that team, which is cool. I really liked Orange Lutheran and glad I got to go to that high school.
I mean, that's where we met, so I'm glad that you went there too.
If I went to Serve, I probably would never met.
No. After your high school career, then you went on to UCLA. Do you want to talk about that you almost got drafted out of high school and that was like a possibility?
Yeah, I got calls. So I was the COVID draft 2020. So it was 5 rounds. I think baseball was 20-round drafts. So it was 5 rounds. I don't know why, because they blamed it on COVID or whatever. But yeah, I got a couple calls and they offered me lower than what I wanted. And I really wanted to go to UCLA, and I felt like I got to mature at UCLA. So I was excited to go there. It was tough to pass on, but I was glad I made the choice I made, and it was the right decision for sure. Now looking back at it.
What were the pros to going to UCLA besides just you wanting to go to that school?
The minor league life is tough. It's not for everyone. You're playing every day as a high schooler. That'd be crazy. You're playing with a lot of people who don't speak the same language, because baseball have a lot of Latin players, and baseball is the most diverse sport. It would be really hard, I think, for me, because I'm like a guy who likes to talk and have fun. College was super fun and got to talk to a lot of interests, and you got to be like a team. While like minor leagues, it's more like you're kind of for yourselves. I mean, you also, there's the little team aspect, but not as like college, because college you want to win the College World Series. While you're in minor leagues, you just want to make it to the big leagues, so you kind of only care about yourself and your performance. So that's what I liked about college, is you get to learn how to win as a team, and I feel like that's big. And baseball's kind of losing that, I feel, in the MLB side. So I feel like going to college is really important. It could have gone either way, but I'm glad I made the choice for sure.
What was the difference from high school baseball going into college baseball?
You're just playing with grown men, 18 years old. So I was 19 in college as a freshman. Especially COVID, they messed it all up. So there were a lot of red shirts. So there was like 23, 24-year-olds I was playing against. So I was just playing against grown men that have been around the baseball 5 years longer than I have.
Let's now go into sophomore year. You had a difficult start into your sophomore year. You were the starter, and freshman year you were the closer.
I mean, I wouldn't really say it was a big struggle. I mean, I think I had like a 3.5 ERA, which that's not a struggle. But for me, like I said, I had a lot of success. Like I played on Team USA twice, did really good in there. Had a really good freshman year. I was a freshman All-American. To have a start like that, it was kind of new, and I kind of had to learn it. So I was glad I got to go through adversity. I was kind of glad I went to college just to like experience some adversity, because baseball is a really tough sport. I mean, especially hitting. If you go 3 for 10, if you bat 300, that means you're a Hall of Famer. And that means failing 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer, which is crazy. Like any other sport, you would be fired or cut or any of that. So baseball is a really hard sport, why a lot of people love it and hate it. But I mean, I talked to a lot of people like DJ, one of my pitching coaches here. He really helped me with my mental game and my approach to like, just like who cares, and like just be yourself and like have like a short-term memory. Like obviously if I have a good start, like that's good. Look at it that night, and once the next day hits, once you wake up, forget about it and get after it for the next start. So I kind of took that approach, and I'm really glad I did, because I was kind of getting into my head and thinking about too much. I was thinking about what I was doing, like mechanics, like a bunch of other stuff. I was thinking about the draft. So had a talk with Savage and DJ and a lot of other people, and they said just worry about this, go pitch to pitch, worry about this moment right now. The only thing you control is this pitch, instead of worrying about 5 pitches after or before I threw. So I really got present. That's what we'd say in the baseball world, saying pitch to pitch, and it made me better, made me compete, and made me had fun again. So, and I had a really good after I got over that hump, and then I had a really good sophomore year and ended my college career pretty good.
You ended as the Friday night starter.
Yep, I had a really fun time. I mean, I really love pitching on Friday nights. It's something different about pitching in the nighttime compared to the daytime. Just that atmosphere, and I don't know what it is. It's weird. If you played sports, like I think everyone would say they'd rather play at night, prime time, Friday night lights, or Saturday. Like just playing at night is just way more fun and electric, I would say. Yeah, I got to end as Friday night starter. We had a couple of injuries. We had a really good year, but no one got hurt. I think we probably could have won the College World Series. I really believe that. We had a really good freshman class and sophomore class, so I think we had a really good chance to win that year. But the injury bug hit our team, and which stinks, but it is what it is, and can't do anything about it.
So like for people who don't understand baseball at all, or why is it more of a reward to be a starter for Friday night versus maybe a starter for Sunday, or even a reliever pitcher?
I think being a starter for all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's how college works. You play a 3-game series against the team. So, I mean, Friday is important because if you win the first game, that's huge because that means you just have to win one more game to win the series. Losing Friday night, it's a big deal because you have to win 2 in a row to win the series. So, just like having that head start, winning that game 1 is huge. If you're the Friday night guy, that means you're the best pitcher and you're their ace and they trust you and your team trusts you. So, it's an honor. It's awesome and takes hard work. And I was really glad to be at UCLA, and I got to pitch at Jackie Robinson night on Thursday actually because we moved it up for some reason, but that was a really cool experience. We had a sold out crowd against Stanford. That was one of my favorite outings as a starter for UCLA. And pitching against Oregon State. At Oregon State, they have the best fans, believe it or not, in Corvallis. They have a bunch of like 60, 70-year-olds yelling at you. Very hostile over there, which is awesome because the Pac-12 doesn't really have fans like that. They're not like the SEC. The SEC is crazy. They have the best fans in college baseball, I'd say. Just because, I mean, if you think about it, UCLA has to compete with the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Rams, the Chargers, the LA Kings, the Clippers. So there's so many things to do in LA. Then there's UCLA baseball. So, I mean, like, it's just a lot of things to do in LA compared to like Arkansas, where like the only thing in that town is Arkansas baseball or Arkansas sports. So the whole town's around them. Playing a big crowd is always awesome. I would rather play in COVID year, like in my freshman year, was whack. We played against, we had no fans. There was cardboard cutouts. My dog was there in the cardboard cutouts, my mom and dad. And at the end of the year, we allowed like 2 people per player. That was cool to see fans, but my first year was really crazy. And then we went to Texas Tech for college playoffs. And then that was sold out because Texas didn't really care about COVID. Yeah, that was super cool. It was sold out and it was in Lubbock, Texas, which is like, it's all there is Texas Tech. So it was really cool to play against them in the championship game. Sadly, we lost that game, but I mean, it was an awesome experience. I'll always remember that.
Yeah, I remember COVID. We would come to the fence and watch your games because we weren't allowed to go into the stadium. And you were so far away. Some of us needed binoculars.
At Cal Poly Slow.
Well, then, and we did it at Jackie Robinson. When you did come to Cal Poly, though, I remember DMing the players asking, where's the best spot to sit that's not in the stadium? And you weren't even playing. You were hurt.
Good girlfriend moment.
Accidentally skipped your 2 times going to USA baseball. And nobody really, I mean, I don't really hear interviews where they ask you your experience and the first time and even the second time, they just kind of say you went. So that's definitely something that a lot of players do not get to do. And I think even when we started dating, I didn't know anything about baseball, but my friends in high school were baseball players. And when I would watch your games on my phone and they would see, they're like, oh my God, that guy's so nasty. That's what they said in high school. But they're like, he's so good. And I was just like, yeah, but I didn't really understand the level of how good you were compared to just an average high school baseball player.
Playing on Team USA, it was an honor to have the USA on your chest, and that it's a blessing that I was on Team USA, and just like it made me realize like USA is not the only sport playing baseball. Like there's other countries that are hungry. They want to make it to the MLB as well. I didn't really like look at it like that. We played Japan, we played Korea, we played Panama, Canada. We played all these countries. It was crazy. I got to go to Panama my first time going on Team USA as a junior. And I played with a 18-year-old team. And that team is so stacked. Like looking back at it, there was Bobby Witt, Anthony Volpe, CJ Abrams, Pete Crow Armstrong. Like the list goes on. Corbin Carroll. I mean, that team right now, you looking back at it, there's like so many guys in the MLB now. And then we won gold. We got to play Panama at Panama for the gold medal game, which was awesome. The whole town was there and going crazy. It was really cool.
Was every team in Panama, or did you guys travel to different countries for each team?
Every team was in Panama. They were hosting. It was like, so it's like the Olympics of baseball. So like there were, I think this was the qualifier for the next year's USA team, which I made. So this was like all the South American, North American teams. There was like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Mexico, Canada.
How did you even get scouted to be on that team or try out? How does that work?
So it's a long process. So I got invited. My sophomore year, we played at North Carolina, which is like the headquarters of USA Baseball. We won that tournament. It's like the biggest, for high school at Orange Lutheran. It's the biggest tournament in high school baseball, basically. The best like team in high school wins that tournament.
You went in junior year too, didn't you?
And freshman year. Yeah, we won it 3 years in a row. Our team was crazy dirty. But yeah, so I pitched really good, and I got an invite to go to the Tournament of Stars. It starts with 84 people, and I had a host family, and I still talk to them actually now today, actually. Like, I'll DM them on Instagram, or they'll DM me on Instagram. So it's really cool. So I had a roommate. His name was Alex. He went to LSU, who just won the College World Series last year. It was really cool. Like, they would take care of us, feed us, drive us to the field and all that. It was fun. Got to hang out with their kids. They had I think a daughter who was like a senior in high school, and then like a 8th grade boy, and he loved baseball, so it was awesome. Yeah, so I made the cut there. I think you set it to 40. You do another tryout, and then they cut it to like 29. So we go back home, and then October we go back, try out again, and there's like 30 something people, and then they cut it to 20, and I made the cut to go to Panama.
And do you go to Panama immediately after?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you missed school doing the entire tryout period and then also go to Panama?
The tryout for like the host family stuff was in the summer. I think it was like July in North Carolina, super hot and humid. Yeah, so I made it to Panama. We won the gold medal, which was super cool. I like look at pictures and I'm like, wow, that was such a cool experience. And then the next year, same process. Like, we got to go to Taiwan. We played like 5-game series against Taiwan, which was really interesting there. I never like been to Taiwan, and I don't know if I'd go back to Taiwan. It was just a super crowded city, super compact, super tight. It was cool, but I really liked Korea more. So then after our 5-game series against Taiwan, we went to Korea, and we played this series. We played it was the World Baseball Classic, so the WBSC. So we're playing Japan, we played China, Australia. We played like teams all over the world. We made it to the championship, and we played Taiwan. And the crazy thing is, we played Taiwan 5 times before we got to Korea, because we had a series against them, and they beat us. I think it was like 2-1. It was sad that, like, if we felt like we let our country down, and I don't know, we should have won. Like, USA is always the best. They win, and baseball is just hard to win. It's a weird sport. Any team can win any day, and it's not like football or basketball where the best team usually wins the World's or the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals. It's baseball. I mean, the hottest team usually wins, and it just wasn't our day, and they got the best of us. I got to pitch against Taiwan in the qualifications, did really good, and I got to pitch to Australia and did really good. I think I went like 8 innings, allowed 1 run. I never thought Australia would be good at baseball, and I had to give them my respects, because like they grinded, and I think we walked it off and won them. It was like 3-2, so it was a really good game.
Will you ever play against different countries like that again?
The MLB does a tournament called the World Baseball Classic, and they do that like every 4 years, like the Olympics. It'd be an honor to do it again, but you have to be really, really good. That's the goal. Do it again and win a gold, because I'm kind of salty from winning a silver medal in Korea, but at least I have 1 gold, which is super cool. We were so close. We lost 2-1. It was a bummer, but it was an awesome experience. I'll always remember that for sure. It's one of my top 3 baseball moments in my life, I would say, for sure.
Okay, so you got drafted as a sophomore, and that's not as common. Usually you're drafted after your junior year. Why is that?
COVID like changed the draft for some reason. They moved the draft to July. It used to be in like mid-June, and I don't know why they did that. So I made the cut to be drafted as a sophomore eligible by like 3 days. It was like July 15th was the draft. My birthday's August 3rd or whatever. So like the amount of days in between to be like 22, 21 or whatever. So I was eligible to be drafted, and I made the cut by like a couple days, which was awesome. And looking back at it, I'm really glad that's what happened, because now I'm going into my second year, my second spring training. Instead of this, if I got drafted like I should have been as a junior, this would have been my first spring training, and I wouldn't have done all this stuff I've done already. So I'm kind of glad that's how it worked out.
So it had to be probably within 2 weeks or something of the draft?
Yeah, just made it by a couple days, which was awesome. And it was a tough decision for sure. I really wanted to go back to UCLA and finish some unfinished business, but I passed up on a couple teams, but I felt like the Cardinals was the right situation and right fit for me. And looking back at it, I'm glad I did it. And it was a really tough decision, because I really wanted to go back, be with my buddies, win the Pac-12, and go to Omaha, because everyone wants to go to Omaha when you're in college. That's the World Series, the College World Series. Wish I got to go to Omaha and do that, because looking at it and watching it is super cool, and it makes me like upset that I didn't get to experience that at least once.
Yeah, I mean, you only had 2 years to experience it, so your chances weren't as high as other players who are in college for 5 years if they redshirt. How does the draft process work? Because you talk to the teams. Do you only talk to them one time? Do you talk to every single team? How many teams do you talk to before the draft?
It was like before sophomore year, before Christmas break, we had meetings with any team that was interested. So I met with almost every team, I think. Sadly, I didn't meet with the Angels, which is my home team, my favorite team growing up. So I never got to meet with the Angels, which it's funny. Yeah, so you talk to them, you have like an interview. It's like a job interview. They ask about my pitch style, what do I think about me, what are my strengths and weaknesses, and all this stuff. It's kind of like a normal job, I think. I never had a job interview before, like a normal job. So that's what I assume, like what's it like. Yeah, so do that, and if you do well, they'll text you or like ask you questions and stuff, and ask if you want to get drafted and all that. But they don't really text you throughout the season because they just respect you and like they want you to like focus on your season and not have like all these distractions. Yeah, it was kind of quiet, and I mean, I had a good sophomore year. Like I said, I didn't have a strong start, but I finished off really strong. So I was kind of planning on coming back to college and having ended at sophomore year, just going and like being a dog the whole junior year and then getting drafted. But the Cardinals called, and I feel like that was the right choice.
So you did talk to the Cardinals?
Yeah, I talked to the Cardinals. He was actually my travel ball coach. So there's area scouts in baseball. There's the LA area scouts, Orange County, San Diego. So there's scouts everywhere. So the LA area scout was my travel ball coach my freshman year, Michael Garcia Parra. He's the guy that called me and drafted me, and so it was cool to like.
Do you think that connection made a difference?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's his job. Like he has to draft the best player available. So I mean, but he like knew like what I was about because like he saw it firsthand. Like he was the coach, so like he knew like I work hard, I compete.
I mean, that's sort of like a job interview. You get the job if you know someone within the team.
I ask questions to the scout like what should I improve on, or like what should I work on to get better. I'd ask that, or ask like what type of player you think I am. But other than that, it's mostly they're asking me questions because they don't care about, they want to know who I am, so they're asking me the questions really.
When you talked with the Cardinals, was there anything that signified that they really wanted you and were gonna draft you, or you had no idea?
I had no clue. Like no teams really talked to me right before the draft, so I was like pretty sure I was going to UCLA, and I could tell you a story like how I got drafted. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, so day one of the draft went by, watched like the first round, saw like a couple of my friends get drafted, which was really cool, but I didn't really hear anything from the scouts. Didn't hear anything actually from like about the draft or anything. So I kind of was like, all right, I'm going back to school. Like I'm excited, like let's go get some unfinished business done. Day 2 comes by, couple rounds go. So the first day is like I think first round and second round. Day 2 is like 3 through 10. 3 is 10 through or 11 through 20. So a couple rounds went by, didn't go anything. It's all right. Me and my mom and my brother are driving down to this local sandwich shop in downtown Fullerton. It's called Roscoe's. Have fire sandwiches there. I got a call from my agent saying like this team wants you, and I was like, it's not the right move. I feel like I should go back to school, benefit more there, and get it closer to my one more year to my degree. But then another call, and he's like, the Cardinals want you.
They were the second call?
They might have been like the third or fourth. And this time I'm outside of the sandwich shop. I already ordered my sandwich, and my mom and my brother are just like waiting there playing pool because they have like pool tables and darts there. It's fun there.
Did they have any idea you were getting these calls?
I said, my agent's calling me right now, so I just went outside and then never came back. So like they didn't really know like I was talking to teams. They just thought I was talking to my agent. And it goes quick. The rounds, I think 3 through 10 just go like this. They have like a minute something per pick. So the draft goes really quick.
So they call your agent, and then your agent calls you?
Yeah, it goes quick, and you have to keep your phone real close because you can't miss your call from your agent. Like that would suck. Let's do it. Went to my mom and my brother and told him I just got drafted to the Cardinals, and like it was crazy. And then I called my dad. He was my first guy I called and told him.
I was working.
Yeah, you're working.
I remember I asked you like a couple weeks in advance, should I take work off on this day? You're like, no, going to UCLA, don't worry about it. And the night before, we planned a trip to San Diego because I mean, I didn't even think about the draft at that point anymore. And then I'm at work.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the draft either. Like, I was ready to go to UCLA. I was looking at classes and making my schedule. And And yeah, I already made my schedule actually, so I had to like cancel my schedule when I got drafted. It was a really cool day. Like that's probably my favorite memory right now. I think of like being a baseball player, but I think I know a day that will take that part probably. Be number one is probably my debut, making it to the big leagues. Yeah, it was an awesome scenario. So I enjoyed that sandwich at Roscoe's and had a really good time. And then I had a little draft party. Had a couple of my close friends, like my neighborhood friends. You came.
We had Lucille's rib.
Yes, my favorite meal.
I thought they did it because it's what people eat in St. Louis.
Beef. I like beef ribs, but there's St. Louis ribs. They also had St. Louis ribs. Those are pork ribs, but my favorite type of food or rib is a beef rib, and it's so good. Yeah, so we had that, and my first big league purchase. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. It was a bottle of 1942 Don Julio. So I mean, that was my first big league purchase, and I still have that bottle right next to my bed. And me and my friends, we all, we had a couple shots of it. We didn't finish it.
I think you guys did finish it.
Well, we had a bunch of people. I mean, it wasn't just me and my brother. It was I think 8 people. So I mean, yeah, we had that. We had a good time.
I thought it was cool that all your friends went to the store and bought Cardinals hats to come surprise you here, and they sold them out.
Nate had a hat, actually. He's a big hat collector, so he had a cool Cardinal hat. Shep had a hat. Mark and Jason had a hat.
I wore your T-ball hat.
Yeah, my first ever baseball team I was ever on was the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, it's a great organization. They have a great future. They have the second most World Series titles.
Who was the first? The Dodgers?
The Yankees. Yankees have 27, which is like, I don't think we'll ever be beaten in our lifetime for sure, because the Cardinals have 11.
They would have to win every single year.
Hopefully we win a couple.
When's the last time the St. Louis Cardinals have won a Super World Series?
Ooh, you got to quiz me? I think it was 2011. You could fact check me, but I'm pretty sure it was 2011. They won it. Weirdest thing is, like, I remember watching that World Series for some reason. So 2011, I was 10 years old. I just remember David Freese hitting this clutch hit, hitting the game-tying hit in the 9th inning. It was like 2 strikes, runners on I forgot who was on base, but he tied the game. Yeah, he tied the game, and then he hit a walk-off home run in like the 11th inning. And I remember that. It was past my bedtime. My mom, for somehow let me, like, stay up past my bedtime. I think my bedtime was like 9, and the game was at like 11. Like the game ended at like 11ish. So yeah, I don't know why I remember that moment, but I remember where I was on the couch, like just watching. I was like, wow, that was super cool. And like now I'm drafted to the Cardinals, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of small coincidences that made you need to be at the Cardinals. Honestly, what I love about you being with the Cardinals is because we're in Southern California and that's not a popular team around here, obviously. Whenever you're wearing Cardinal stuff, if they're a real Cardinal fan, they'll stop you and say something, which I love.
Cardinal fans are...
They're diehard.
Top fans of the MLB. Like, they love their team. They know baseball. I just went to St. Louis, and I met, first time ever going to St. Louis, and I met their fans, and they know baseball. Like, they don't mess around like some fans.
Like, if you were with the Yankees or the LA Dodgers or anything, and you wear an LA or a New York hat, nobody's going to say anything, because that's just a common...
Yeah, it's a trendy hat. It's crazy. I've met a lot of Cardinal fans. Like, I was just in Arizona, at Arizona State with Jason, and I met a couple Cardinal fans, and like they were super excited, and like it's just super cool to like meet fans. And
they're so excited to come up to anyone. They're like, go Cardinals, go Birds. Now we've talked about your draft. After you get drafted, you're not going into spring training, right? Where are you going? What level are you?
Yeah, so I got drafted, I think, July 16th, something like that. And 2 days later, I'm on a flight to Jupiter, Florida. And it was super hot and humid there in the summer, especially in July and August. We went through, like, physicals, MRIs, and did all this stuff before we signed the contract because they got to check, like, that we're healthy and all good. And once we got that, I got to sign the contract at the field and got to, it was official. So it was super cool to, like, sign the contract. And my agent was there with me. And, yeah, we played base, we practiced, and just they got our feet wet. We met the coaches, met the staff, got used to like being around the field, and like it was cool. I mean, it was like a little preview of what like spring training and the season will be like.
Are you considered a level at that point?
I was not. So I wasn't on a team because I threw a lot of innings my sophomore year in college. I threw like 85. So they kind of just wanted me to shut down and just like rest. So I got sent home, I think, late August, and the season ends like mid-September. So I had a really long off season, which was crazy, but get to know the area. I really like Jupiter, Florida. It's a lot of golf, which I like golfing, and got to meet like the players, which was cool. I think that was big to like meet people, get friends, like instead of going to like spring training where you don't know anyone, it'd be kind of awkward. I don't know, because who like would like to go to like school and like knowing someone is like super beneficial, I feel.
Where were you guys living at this point?
We were living in a hotel and had a roommate. Victor Scott was my first Cardinal roommate, and he's balling out too.
Is he in the major leagues now?
No, he's in AA, but he won like the gold glove of like all minor leagues. Like he's the real deal. Like he's one of the fastest human beings I've ever seen.
Going into the minor leagues, did you know you were going to be in hotels or were you kind of used to that because of Team USA and Cape Cod and all that? Or was it a huge drastic, you're eating the food that they give you?
No, I was used to it. College, we did that too. We'd eat breakfast, hotel breakfast. I mean, the eggs, don't get me started on the eggs. The eggs are, it scarred me from eating eggs.
I don't think they're real eggs.
They're not really, they're powdered eggs. And like, I love eggs. Like if I have to make the eggs now or like a restaurant, and the eggs have to be like, look legit, not runny and soupy. That's what stinks about it. But I mean, other than that, like it was cool. Like we got good fed pretty well. It was good. I mean, the minor league, like I said, life is tough. It's not the big leagues yet. So I mean, you're not going to stay at like the 5-star hotels and get fed the best food. So I mean, it's a grind, but they're making it so much better, honestly. We're getting paid more. They're paying for our housing now and our food. We get paid for our 2 meals a day basically, so we get lunch and dinner. So basically breakfast is on ourselves compared to it was like even when I was in high school or even 10-20 years ago. So much better.
Yeah, I don't think people were able to afford to go to the minor leagues because a lot of players don't sign for a lot of money and their family can't support them, so they're either working on top of that or they just don't go.
Yeah, so I mean, now you're kind of living a better life with the minor league, and it's only going to get better from here now. I'm positive with that, and I'm super, super happy to be in this situation because I have teammates that have been in the minor league since like 2018. They're like, this is crazy how like it's changed so much in like the past 5 years. So
is every team different in how they run that sort of side of it, or is the minor leagues all kind of one monopoly?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I would think it's probably all kind of the same. I've only been on one team and I don't really know too much.
Yeah, I guess you'll find out because a lot of your friends got drafted this summer, so they can share their experiences with you. Then you go out to your first spring training for 2023.
Right.
In March?
Yeah, March. I left like March 3rd.
Okay, and you're back in the hotels for a little bit. How long?
Just like a month.
Just a month. So you already knew the guys from like the year prior. So that's where you met like your closest friends, and then you got moved up to low A. Mm-hmm. Is there anything below low A?
Yes, so it goes, the Dominican Summer League's the lowest, but that's where like all like they'll have like Dominicans and other people like go. It's like 8th grade for like baseball, so they just...
Is it only Dominicans?
I'm not too sure. I would think, but I mean, they have like I think every team has a facility out there now, and they just train and like teach them the fundamentals of baseball. I really wish that USA would do a thing like that, have like facilities out here for like kids and like to work out and just play baseball. I mean, because there's a lot of fields in California here, but they're not the best. But I mean, it would be awesome to have like the Angel, like a bunch of teams here to have the facilities.
But aren't they drafting those guys under 18 and then they...
Yeah, they sign them at like 13, 14 years old, I'm pretty sure. I think. I don't know too much about that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they sign them really young. And then there's the FCL. This is the Florida Complex League, and that's where like the older like guys, like the younger guys that are a little older, like high school, like college. So that's like their college for them. Then there's the low A, then there's high A, double A, triple A, and then big leagues.
So you went to low A first.
Yeah, I started there.
And then how long were you there? And then share us your whole journey of this past year, your first full year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I started in low A, was in Jupiter, and that's where our spring training facility is. So it was really nice. Low A in Florida, like where we were, is not what minor leagues is like. So we got to have like a really nice field, really nice locker room and clubhouse. I mean, yeah, so it's not really like what minor leagues is. It's not really like minor leagues, but it was super cool, fun league. Great place to pitch at. Like the ball did not carry at all.
What does that mean?
The field is really deep and the ball doesn't go that far.
So that's good for a pitcher, but not good for a hitter?
It stinks for a hitter, yeah. So yeah, I was there for basically 3 months and basically half the year. I was doing really good. I won like Florida State League Pitcher of like the week. It was cool. Yeah, I met some friends, had some roommates, Jack, Pete, and Joseph and Chan. I can go on. Like those guys are all my boys, and we had a good time. Got called up like end of June. Was in Peoria, which is high A. It was really good. I did really well there too, and had a good experience there, and the fans were super cool, and got to do like off the field charity stuff. Like I went to like a kids hospital, which was cool. I like doing stuff like that, like meeting kids and just like.
Is it common for guys to go in from, say, because you were a starter in college and then go into minor leagues and also be a starter? Is that common?
Yeah, I mean, usually you get drafted. Like a lot of people that get drafted are starters. It's kind of rare to get drafted as a reliever.
So then who ends up being a reliever then?
Starters.
Oh, so you could have ended up being a starter or a reliever.
They have an idea, like they can tell, like if you can throw a couple pitches for strikes, because relievers usually only have 2 pitches, and as a starter you need like 3 or 4.
And how many do you have?
Right now I have 4, but I could say I have 5 because I'm working on throwing a cutter, but that's a conversation for another day.
All right, so how long are you in Peoria because you ended up in AA?
So I was there the other half of the season. I was there for like 3 months. So I was there July, August, end of September. So we lost in playoffs, which was a bummer. We made it to like the semifinals, and we lost game 3, which is like the last game. So it was 1-1. So we just had to win one more game, and we lost. And then the coach pulls me in. I'm like, oh no, like did I get in trouble or something? But he like told us, he brought 3 guys in. He said, you guys are going to AA for playoffs, because they had playoffs as well. So I was super thrilled because that was part of my goals I wrote. I always write like 3 goals. My 3 goals in 2023 were throw 130 innings, which I did, make it to AA, and then my 3rd goal was, should I say it? Okay, to win the minor league pitcher of the year, which at the time I didn't know I did that goal yet. Later, like in December, I figured out I did win that. So I was super excited to go, and I had to stay in Peoria for an extra 2 days by myself in my apartment. So it was kind of lonely because I don't have my car. So I was just stuck in my apartment. So I was door dashing, or I walked to like the grocery. It was like a 20-minute walk both ways. So it was a 40-minute walk. So I made a nice steak one day. Yeah, I made a nice meal. I treated myself nice. And then, I was just watching college football and NFL football and just working out, doing push-ups and sit-ups because there wasn't really a gym.
Okay, so you end up going to AA then. And where's AA?
AA is in Springfield, Missouri, which is a college town. There's a lot of things to do there. I think Missouri State is the college in that city. It's actually where the Simpsons live, the show, Simpsons. So that's where the show is actually based off in, I guess, which is like crazy. Yeah, it's so random, but yeah. So I haven't really got to explore Springfield too much because I was only there for like 2 nights. So I flew in Monday. I got in like Monday night, like 11 o'clock. I get to the field at Tuesday, and I'm throwing. Like, it was crazy. Like, I haven't really played since Friday or done really anything since like Thursday. And then they're like, yeah, you're going to throw on Tuesday. So I was ready to go, and it was really cool. And it's different baseball for sure. There's the hitters are bigger. You can just tell they're bigger and stronger because they're older. It's playing against with like 26, 28-year-olds, which is crazy. Big deal. And it was super fun. The fans came out, and it was awesome. It was a good atmosphere. It was playoffs, and I was super glad to be in AA and have the opportunity to do it.
How do you keep yourself healthy with pitching 130 games?
So here comes a little health and wellness, maybe, I would say. So tune in, my prospective listeners. It's just you got to prepare yourself for the off season. So off season is really important. So you got to stay healthy, get strong. Nutrition's important. I'm just learning more about nutrition every day and trying to implement it in my career, which I feel like I could use more and learn more. Shelby's helped me with that a little bit. And also my nutrition coach with the Cardinals have helped me and made a nutrition plan.
Oh, they do that?
Yeah. I thought I sent you it. Did I
No,
not?
you didn't.
Oh, yeah, they have like a whole plan. Use like this many fists of protein or palms or whatever. So, yeah.
And how did they set up a meeting with you, or how did
When I was in St. Louis, like I talked to the strength coach, and he set it up with me, and that's right. So yeah, off season's important. And just doing like arm care. I mean, throwing is not natural for the human body, especially throwing 130. That's crazy in 1 year. Doing like cell therapy, red light therapy. I do that a lot. I also have like a stem device that like shocks your muscles. I do that a lot. I do cold tub, hot tub after I throw. I like doing like a plunge. Makes my body feel good and gets the inflammation out, but just basically just trying to get your body ready every 4 or 5 days.
If there's 3 wellness things that you do, what would you say are your top 3? So like cold plunge, sauna, the stem machine, like what are your 3?
Stem machines I use like the most just because I feel like it helps my elbow, shoulder, bicep just like feel better, like flushes everything out, which I really like. I like red light therapy. My mom has introduced me in red light therapy when I was like maybe in junior high. So she's really big on red light therapy. Third thing, I mean, probably doing like physiotherapy, like soft tissue, dry needling. I really like dry needling. I just got into that this off season, and it's really I hope I can do it during the season. Hopefully our physical trainer is licensed to do it, so that'll be really cool, and I'll be really excited for that. And cupping, I like cupping too, like on my back, because pitching, my arm gets sore, but also like there's other parts of my body get sore, like my T-spine, my legs. Yeah, there's a lot of pitching's very violent on your body, but you got to prepare yourself and make sure you're ready for the next start, because no one cares how you feel, and no one cares that your arm's sore or your back or you have a headache. Like, you just got to give it your all.
Yeah, I find it really interesting because since I'm so interested in the health space, a lot of just average people do all these activities and self-care activities, but you have to do it to keep your body healthy for your job. Like, I don't think of you as a wellness boyfriend, but then when I think of all the things you do some stuff more than I do.
Yeah. I mean, I also forgot to say I do the sauna a lot. So this off season I worked out in Arizona, and so the sauna that I go here at home is like 170, which I thought was hot. And then I go to the place in Arizona where I'm working out, and it's set at 210 degrees. So yeah, now going to the 170 degree sauna is cold. There's science behind the 210 sauna.
How long are you in it for?
It's like 15 at most. At first, I was doing 10 because I was like dying, and then I got used to it. The thing I hate the most is the cold tub that they had over there. It was, they had like a jet, and it was like 28 degrees.
It's so you don't get used to the water because it's always moving.
I rather sauna in the 210.
I've never done a cold plunge. I'm too scared.
It's honestly the first 2 minutes are tough, or the minute and a half is tough, and then once you get through that, our strength coach said 3 to 5 minutes is perfect. You don't need to go anything under or over. So 3 to 5, according to him, which I believe, because he does all the science information. He's super smart. His name's Tim Naiman. Shout out to Tim. But I learned a lot from him this off season. I'm super excited to use the recovery program that he gave me and recover faster, because that's all it's all about is recovering.
Do they have that stuff for you when you're in season, or is that you can only do that when you're in off season?
So we don't have a sauna. I don't know if AA has a sauna, but I know they have cold tubs and a hot tub, or they have physiotherapy, cupping, all that stuff. But I'm not sure if they have a sauna.
Okay, I want to hear about what your nutritionist said. Does he only work with athletes and what he gave you? So I want to hear what his recommendations were for you as a baseball player, because I'm sure it's a little different for different sports.
Yeah, so I mean, he wants me to eat a lot of protein. He basically wants me to eat the weight, so whatever weight you are or what I am, he wants me to eat that many grams of protein, which is super hard, and like you get super full. But it makes sense, because if you're eating junk food, like let's say you just crave more food because it doesn't fill you up. So if you're eating more whole foods or like more protein, you get more stuff and you don't want to eat. Drinking more water as well, like adding salt, like pink Himalayan salt is important. Just drinking normal water doesn't
hydrate you.
Doesn't hydrate you. You've probably told your listeners that, but which I didn't really know that until like last year. So that was really interesting to hear. Yeah, just eating more veggies, like veggies, fruits, rice, but like you want to stay away from brown rice. You'd rather have me eat white rice than brown rice because your stomach can digest.
It's easier to digest white rice over brown rice.
Stay away from processed food, sugars, which it's hard to stay away from sugars. I can do it, and then just one day I'd be like, I'm craving like vanilla shake or something. I don't know, but yeah. And like staying away from like smoothies, like using like good fruits and like spinach, putting spinach in it, grains as well, protein, putting like good protein in it. Your liquid, I use water or like coconut water. I don't use like apple juice, orange juice, milk.
So that's just more sugar. You could do milk. That's protein.
Nah, I already get enough protein in my protein powder stuff. But I mean, I just use normal water, and it tastes fine.
The same. I use water, or I'll do milk.
I also use creatine and collagen. I take some supplements as well.
Have you always been super into the recovery and the nutrition and supplement side?
Kind of got like high school. I mean, I would used to just eat like Del Taco right before the game. I mean, it was just different where I was younger and we could do that. But it's crazy. I'm getting older now and it's like I got to eat healthier and better or else like you're not going to feel good the next day, which I didn't really think about that in high school. And in college, I mean, I was kind of just eating whatever the dorm food had, which was fire. They had good food there.
Tasted good.
Yeah, it tasted good, but I don't know if it was the best for you. I think this off season I learned a lot about it.
Do you think dating me has changed anything about that?
Yeah, a little bit. I take supplements like my mom has this doctor, she's a chiropractor and she's like a super genius. Like I don't know, she's
She's more like a healer, your mom explains.
Yeah, I take calcium, I take magnesium, I take like this supplement called immune support, Ligaplet. I take a bunch of stuff.
Did you start taking that in high school or college?
Elementary school probably. Yeah, I've been taking it for a while.
Which is funny because my family's the exact same way.
Also, I'm a big believer in the chiropractor. I know some people have their beliefs, but I feel my best when I get adjusted. Not the day of, but the next day I feel the best. I try to go at least once a month, but last year I didn't really go because it was hard to find a good one. Because you got to find a good one, a good chiropractor. Because a chiropractor can kind of hurt you if he or she is not the best, which my buddy Nate is trying to be a chiropractor. So I'm hoping he's a good chiropractor. Not right now, when I'm like older.
When he's very experienced. Yeah. He should specialize in athletes or something. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think he wants to. I mean, he plays baseball. And it's crazy. All my friends are doing stuff in sports. I think it's really cool. Like Jason, he wants to work with sports. So he wants to work with UFC. Like that's his dream, or work with a baseball team, football team. Cole, he wants to do a sports psychologist. He wants to work with.
I can see him doing that.
Mark
wants to be a lawyer or something.
Mark wants to be a lawyer, which he'd be a good lawyer because guy's smart and all. But yeah, it's cool to see all my friends like working in the sports. Like they want to work in the sports industry. So hopefully one day I'll be working with them and they'll be working with me.
I think it's really common for athletes to want to stay in the sports.
You've been in their shoes, you understand, which I really like when someone's been in my shoes or they like understand, because it's weird like when they haven't been in your shoes and don't understand and they're telling you stuff. It hits different when like, let's say someone's been in my shoes and like played baseball.
When you're going to a chiropractor?
Yeah, like, and they understand like, oh, like your arm feels like this because your mechanics are doing that and this and that. I appreciate that. But I mean, if it's a good chiropractor and they've never played baseball, I don't care. As long as like, yeah.
Talk to us about all the awards you got after you finished your season most recently.
Yeah, so I got an award. I got to be the Cardinals minor league pitcher of the year, and that was a big honor. It was one of my biggest goals to get.
Only 2 players, right, have gotten it their first year?
I think so, like Rick and Keel and someone else. It's super cool to experience that and have that award, and just shows like all the hard work, dedication I put in the off season and throughout my career is paid out through and all that. So it was awesome. What is your favorite award that I've gotten?
Obviously, Pitcher of the Year. I didn't even know you got Pitcher of the Year. I thought it was because you got so many awards from Florida and Peoria and all the other teams. I thought this one, they just forgot to post it. And so when you told me, and I was like, wait, yeah, you got Florida Pitcher or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're like, no, of all the minor leagues for the Cardinals. Okay, I do want to talk about you going to Arizona this offseason, what you learned, why it was different from if you just stayed home, training wise. Like, I want you to get very specific for other baseball players who are interested in this stuff.
I went to Scottsdale, Arizona to go train, and I like training with people, like with a group of people instead of like training by myself or at home. I feel like there's a lot of distractions here at home because I just feel like if I train it with people in a group, I'm getting held accountable to go because I can't just not show up. Where here I can like push my lift like an hour back or something. So I like showing up at this time, lifting here, and then doing all that stuff. So I really liked lifting and working out at Arizona. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about pitching and pitch design, which is a whole lot of another conversation we can have. I don't know if you really care about it.
What is pitch design?
Pitch design's basically, so there's the high-speed camera. It's called Edgetronic, and it's like 1,000 frames per second. It's crazy. It's a super expensive camera. It's like a $20,000 camera or something crazy. And it shows you how the ball comes off your finger and what exact finger is the last like finger to come off the ball and why the ball is spinning that way. So we like did a whole deep dive in that. Cleaned up my fastball a little bit. Hopefully we added a little more velocity because that's all. I feel like that's the only thing I really need is just adding a little more velocity to my fastball, a little more zip. And my curveball, cleaned it up. Could throw it for strikes more often. And slider gone way better. Turned into more more of a sweeper, which means it's breaking more horizontally than vertically, which I wanted. Changeup got better. I think every pitch got better. So we tried to work on a cutter. Cutter is a work in progress. I'm trying to figure that out still. It's hard to figure out new pitches, learn them. So they take some time. Like learning how to throw a cutter will be cool, and I feel like will help my arsenal and make me become an even better pitcher. So yeah, when I was in Arizona, they taught me how to lift different. I never lift this type of way. I was lifting more explosive and quick. They would like have this like little box, and you attach it to like the squat bar, and it would tell you how fast you're moving the weight, and you would want to move that weight. It was like meters per second, like 1 meter per second. So you want to move that weight pretty quick.
So you're doing explosive weight training.
So we'd put like a certain amount of weight, so you'd be able to move it that meter per second. And that's just trying to teach your body to be fast and explosive, because baseball is a really quick and explosive.
What did you do prior?
I would kind of just deadlift or squat, and squat pretty heavy. I would never move it quick or do more. I do a lot of plyo jumps now. We're doing a lot of plyometrics and isometrics. It was just different lifting at Scottsdale. So it was really cool. I never really learned it, and my body got super sore. It was weird. Like I didn't really lift that heavy, but my muscles have never fired that quick before. So I feel like that will help me become a better pitcher, and longevity and all that stuff. And I learned a lot about how to recover, what to do after I throw, throwing programs, I learned a lot. I'm super glad. I hope I'm gonna go there again this next off season. Probably maybe get a house out there. And
what did you learn about recovery out there?
Well, like the sauna, the cold tub, all that. They like every day like do 10 minutes of red light therapy on like a spot that's like sore. So I would really do like the bicep, elbow, trap, shoulder, and just like they gave me like correctives to do every day. My ankles are pretty messed up, or not messed up, they don't have a lot of range of motion. Your ankles are very important. It's your anchor. It's the first thing that hits the ground. So if your ankles are weak or not, they lack range of motion, it means your knees are gonna hurt, because you can't like fully like walk in. You use your ankles a lot, so you need to have a lot of dorsiflexion. So if you have bad ankles, you have bad knees, and then your knees will mess up your hips, and your hips will mess up your back. So it's all connected. So your ankles are really important. So we really focus on opening up my ankles and having stronger ankles, which is weird to say. Now I feel like I have good range of motion with it. My back problems have gone away. Knee problems have slightly gone away. So it's good to see that
there were programs actually working. And is there a ton of guys that were out there with you?
Yeah, there was about like 20, 25 guys there. Not at the same time. It would come at different times. I had the morning shift, and my grandpa lived in Surprise, Arizona. So I didn't know like how Arizona was shaped, or like where like all the cities were. I kind of thought they were all close. But yeah, I feel like everything in Arizona is like 30 to 45 minutes away. Like nothing's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes away. It's a drive. It was a drive. So I'd wake up like 6:30 every morning, leave at 7:15.
You have to be invited each time if you want to go back?
I don't know how it works, but I really had a good relationship with Tim, and we talked a lot, and he helped me a lot throughout the year as well. He gave me just like recovery stuff and like workouts, and told me like do this and that. He told me about I never knew about contrasting really, so he like told me.
Oh, is that the hot and cold?
Yeah, hot and cold. Like after my bullpen, go in a cold tub for like 4 minutes, meditate, and like visualize yourself like doing well and performing well. So I kind of like did that a lot this year, and I feel like that helped as well.
Is he only work with pitchers?
No, he works with hitters. There's hitters there too, but he likes working with hitters a little bit more, I think, because like pitching's just like, it's a science if you really think about it. I can go in a lot about it, like how it's like gravity and all this stuff. It's crazy. Like pitching and hitting are very common too. And also like throwing a football, hitting a hockey puck. All those sports are like very similar. Like they don't look the same, but like they move the same. It's like all this science data is like proven. And
so whose training facility is this? Did he like, I want to hear about how you even got invited there.
Yeah, so I reached out to Tim. I DM'd him and said like I had like a FaceTime call with him and talked to him about like all this stuff and like how I want to improve as a pitcher.
You just found him on Instagram?
Yeah, I followed his Instagram page. It's called 4App Sports, and like they have an app on baseball. It does like a wellness check every day. But yeah, it tells you like how does your lower body feel, how does your upper body feel, tracks your sleep. I have a Whoop band, so throwing arm soreness, upper body soreness, energy, stress, mood, nutrition, hydration, sleep, and then you hit update, tells you like, it gives you like graphs and like tells you like you're in the red, you should like take it easy on your lower body today, or it does. So it like tracks your sleep and all this. He made that app with a couple other guys at Infor app. It's a really cool app. It's free. It can be used for like a normal person too. I don't know, but you won't have the version I have because you have to like talk to them, because then you like can put like your jump data, like your vertical every day, your grip strength and all this stuff. Back in the day, I would like lift. I just lift as hard as I can. I like until like I couldn't move the weight. Some days, you know, your body's like, yo, you need to chill out. So you take it kind of easy, maybe do a little more explosiveness workouts, moving the weight quicker. So it makes so much sense now looking back at it, which I'm glad I'm learning this at 22 instead of like 24, 26. I'm super blessed. I mean, I wish I could have learned this at like
18
in high school, but I mean, it is what it is. But I like helping out people. I talk to like some high school friend or some not friends, but high school people I know, and tell them stuff and try to help out and give back.
You're going into your second year of minor league baseball. Do you have, I'm not going to ask you your goals, but what are your expectations? What are you excited for? What do you see yourself doing?
Honestly, I'm just super excited to get back to the field and play with the boys.
You got invited to the major league spring training.
Yeah, I did. So I got an invite. I got a non-roster invite to major league spring training, that was one of my goals.
Which is rare.
Pretty rare for a second year guys. So I'm really excited to do that and learn from like the big league guys and pick their brains. I'm just going to be a sponge and soak up all the information and can't wait. I mean, it's a super good opportunity to show the major leaguers, like all the staff and all that. So it'd be really cool to get there a couple weeks early and get to like, you know, chat some ball, you know, it'd be awesome.
Puts you on their radar as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you only get a few opportunities in baseball. I mean, I think the average minor league, major league baseball career is like 4.5 years, something like 4.3 years, something crazy. But
I heard that if you get invited to the major league spring training, it's more of a tryout. I mean, obviously you're not going to go directly to the major leagues after that, but
no, it's a big deal. You got to perform. You got to learn. You got to just embrace it and just have a good time. I mean, it's the same game. It's still 60 feet 6 inches from the mound to the plate and 90 feet from the bases and all that. But same game, just with people that you watch and grew up watching. And but yeah, I'm super excited for this year to start. And I don't know where I'm going to start out at. But I'm ready to go wherever they send me and trying to have a better year than I had last year. That's the goal, and just learn better and basically do what I learned this off season and let the hard work translate to the field. I mean, this is why you work hard in the off season, is to play during the season. Today's Saturday, so yeah, I threw yesterday actually against hitters. Got to be at my old high school field, which was cool, and I had my college catcher catch me, so it was like worlds colliding and all that. But yeah, I'm super excited to get after it this year.
Spring training 2 months now since you're going early.
First practice is February 14th. End of spring training is like March 30th, so it's like a month and a half.
For any athlete listening who wants this to become their career, what is your advice for pursuing this?
Just sacrificing. I would say there's gonna be times where you have to miss a friend's birthday or a party. You know, you gotta put in the time. You gotta treat your body well and just gotta work hard and have fun. If you're not having fun, it's not worth it. Playing baseball, I don't consider as a job. I think it's having fun. I mean, I'm playing a kid's game at age 22, so I'm really excited to start my journey. And if you're not having fun, like, I think you should either take a break, look at yourself and reflect. But I mean, if you're not having fun, it's not worth it at all, and it's a kid's game. Just, you got to remember that.
That concludes today's episode.
First ever interview, right?
What's all your social media so everyone can go follow you?
Max Rajcic, I mean, like magic, but my Instagram's Max Rajcic, RAJCIC, and my X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days, is Max Rajcic.
Instagram and Twitter, that's about it. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for listening to the show today. I hope you guys liked the interview with Max. If you guys want him back on to talk about different things, he's obviously multifaceted and doesn't only talk about baseball and his experience, but I think he can go into more in depth about what it's, I don't know, being in a relationship in the minor leagues or even
long distance relationship. Pretty good at that one.
You have a lot to you more than that, obviously.
My personality is more than baseball. This interview was only about baseball. I do other stuff. Trust me, I'm not just a baseball bot. Like, I do other stuff. I got my hobbies are like spike ball. I love pickleball. I love doing it like outdoor sport. I love golfing. I love doing outdoor sports stuff. I'm not really a big video gamer, but during the minor league season, it's a long season. So, I mean, you got to play something. But other than that, I mean, I like doing anything outdoors. Hiking's fun.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM him and also message me if you want him back on for something else. Well, I hope you guys liked this first interview. It's definitely a trial and error, so they'll just get better every single time. And I want to have a variety of people on, whether it's athletes or physical therapists, people who specialize in hormones, all routes of health and wellness and being in your 20s. I'll talk to you guys next week. See you later. Bye.